Hey guys, so I don't usually do this, but I just watched a video on Michael Lofton's Reason and Theology. Great channel, recommend it. But I'm responding within a minute of watching it, and I was getting so aggravated, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. So I have a lot of subscribers and a lot of viewers that are much smarter than me and a lot wiser in the faith and older in the faith. So if I'm wrong, please put in a comment, because what I'm going to say might sound a little harsh, but this is what I truly believe. And you know, I always give it to you straight, tell you what I believe. So in the video, it was posted like 9 days ago. I'm surprised I haven't seen it. I just noticed it today, but I haven't really been on YouTube a lot lately. I'm kind of busy. But so basically, the name of the video is Protestant takes over Catholic pulpit. I think something to that effect, from 9 days ago. So this little boy, I call him a little boy, and you'll see why, but he looks about maybe 28, 29 years old, but he's really a little boy. You know, age doesn't make you a man. You know, this little punk needs to go to boot camp, but I'm going to hold my fire for a second because I want to explain to you what this little boy did. So this little boy went into this church. It was pretty empty. It didn't look like a mass. It looked like maybe a prayer meeting. Maybe they were praying the rosary or something. And it was mostly elderly women from what I could see. And Michael Lofton had mentioned that. Like I said, I didn't even watch the whole video, but he said from what he's seen, mostly elderly women. This kid goes up to the pulpit and starts telling them Catholics are going to hell because Catholicism is a false religion. And then he just goes on with some really immature arguments, you know, apologetic arguments for Protestantism, which is just like, you could tell this kid doesn't know his Bible. But I would say, and his name is Ryan Foley. Of course, he's a TikToker. You know, he loves the Chinese, so he's a TikToker. But Ryan Foley, this little punk, is telling Catholics we're going to hell and telling us it's a sin to call any man father. So I guess he doesn't have a dad he calls father, but I guess St. Paul was sinning when he said, you had 10,000 instructors, but I became your father. I guess all the Christians in the Bible who called Abraham Father Abraham were sinning. This is how ridiculous this little idiotic kid was to say that stupid argument. But I would like to tell Ryan Foley, it's a sin to engage in homosexual acts. And Ryan Foley is obviously a little gay boy, in my opinion. You could just tell the kid's gay, you know, whether he wants to admit it or not. He seems like a very feminine dude, in my personal opinion. I get worked up because here it is, some elderly women praying. You don't know what these women have been through this week. You don't know who lost a husband, who's mourning a child, and you're going to go up there and tell them they're going to hell? Now, the Bible and the church teaches us to turn the other cheek, teaches us to love our enemies, but it also teaches us to defend the widows, to defend elderly, defend the orphans, defend your family, defend your house. Jesus was not a pacifist. When people were sinning in his house, he was kicking over tables in the house of God. He said, you don't come in and defile the house of God. You know, when the soldiers asked Jesus, what about us? He didn't say, get rid of your weapons and stop being soldiers. He just said, be fair and be honest. Be a good soldier. So Jesus was not a pacifist, and the church has never taught pacifism in 2,000 years of the history of the church. So if blue-collar Catholic was sitting in my parish, and this little punk came up and did that, this is what I would do. Now, a lot of my friends probably would have asked the dude, please leave. I would not have asked him because he didn't ask to be allowed to speak. So I was going to ask him to leave. I would grab him by his gay boy neck and rip him off the stage. Now, a lot of my friends, you know, the wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys, and I recommend every man learns how to fight on the ground. But I was a street fighter growing up. I would much rather take someone out on my feet than on my back. So no, I would not wrestle the guy. the guy would get my hand across his throat and he would come off the pulpit. And if he resisted, he would get an elbow across the top of his eye and then a right cross in his mouth. And forgive me if this is offensive or this is violent, but you do not come into the house of God and defile it. And you do not scare little old ladies and tell them they're going to hell. So that's how I would handle it. But in my parish, I probably wouldn't even get a chance. You see, because I normally go to Mass with my children and my grandchildren. And because the grandchildren are small, we have, from one month to 8 years old and everything in between. We sit in the back row in case they got to get up and use the bathroom, or if baby starts whining, you don't want to disturb the Mass, so we take them outside. And I assure you, there's at least a dozen guys younger and tougher than me that sit in the first 3 rows. So by the time I would have got to Ryan Foley, his little gay boy face would have been chopped meat, in my personal opinion. So Ryan Foley, I dare you to come to my parish and do this. So forgive me if you don't think this is Christian-like, but look at what Jesus did in the temple when they went and the money changers were in there defiling his temple, And we are commanded to defend our family. If someone comes in your house and you don't defend your family, that's a sin. And the church is our family. The people in the pews are family. The church is our home. And I will have your back. If you're in my parish, I got your back. And Florida's a right to carry state. I know a lot of men that carry. I don't need to carry. These are my guns. God bless and stay Catholic.